All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. It is now the third week of May. We are nearing the middle of the year. So this morning, what we're going to talk about, it's like planes flying over us and shit. This morning, what we're going to talk about is what are you willing to give up now for your future self, for your future, for what you want later, for the person you have not become yet? What are you going to be willing to give up now? Sorry about that. My phone's always going off. What are you going to be willing to give up now? What are the sacrifices? What are you going to focus on? I wrote a whole bunch of things down from last night as I was thinking about this, what I was going to talk to you guys about today. What are we giving up? Lots of times people think sacrifice is usually like time. Time usually is like the biggest sacrifice. We sacrifice a lot of time so that we can make money for the future. But there's so much more that we sacrifice. And I think sacrifice really just comes in how bad you want something. How bad you want it now, or how bad do you want it later? We have what he just talked about, self-gratification now, or are we going to limit ourselves to our self-gratification for what we want more in the future? And that a lot of that sometimes comes in the way we spend. A lot of times when we sit with our clients, we talk about how they're spending, what their current lifestyle is, and why, they're not making enough money to save and get to the point of being able to retire properly. The main question is, what are you sacrificing now in terms of your money so that you can retire properly? Are you sacrificing on your needs and wants now so that way your future self has more money later? But really, I want to talk even bigger than that. What are you willing to give up for your future self? Some of the things I wrote down was giving up time. A lot of times, especially when you become an entrepreneur, we think, oh, you know what? I'll be an entrepreneur. I'll make some more money or something like that. But really, when you become an entrepreneur, you're actually giving up even more time if you're doing it right. If you're doing entrepreneurship right, you're giving up more time than you would at a standard job where you're working 40 to 50 hours a week. As an entrepreneur, you should be putting in 60, 70, 80, 85 hours a week into your business if you want to call it a business. Sometimes people want to throw in, oh, I'm going to throw in 5 hours this week, an hour a day, maybe do a couple little follow-ups, maybe make like 8 or 9 calls, 10 hours a week, and they call that a business. That's not a business. That's a hobby. You haven't given anything up. You've given nothing up really for your business. You've given up a measly 10 hours a week for your business. That will not do anything for your business to grow. Your business will stay kind of like this. It'll never get the shock that it needs to escalate. Are you going to give up money? Some people give up money. We also call that risk. Are you willing to risk? Are you willing to give up some money? Are you willing to invest that money into you, into your business, into what you want for your future? Sacrifices money. Are you willing to save and not spend on the things that you want right now so that you can sacrifice it now for later? One of the biggest things is, are you willing to sacrifice some friends and family? A lot of times it's our friends and family that's holding us back, that wants us to kind of stay where we are, the person we are now, the mindset we are now, going out the way we are now, the lifestyle we have now, the things that we talk about now with our friends and family. Are you willing to give all of that up for your future self? If your friends and family right now aren't on the alignment that you're trying to get on, are you willing to give up some of those relationships temporarily, maybe, or some of them even for good? Are you willing to outgrow them? Are you willing to outgrow them first and then maybe pull them up later? It's kind of scary. We really do have like jets that have been flying over here all morning. It's crazy. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe like early Memorial weekend, but yeah. Are you willing to give up some of those relationships? That's probably one of the hardest things that we can do, is give up some of the relationships that we have with our friends and family that are not serving us. They're not serving the person that we're trying to become. They're not serving our future self. It's even more difficult with family. A lot of times family will be a big big determining factor in holding us back in our mindset, right? We don't want to outgrow them. We don't want to make them feel bad if we're spending less time with them or talking less on the phone. But sometimes it's necessary in order to sacrifice that for our future self, even for their future self, if you're willing to pull them up later. Are you willing to sacrifice that? Are you willing to sacrifice your comfort? That's probably one of the biggest ones. Are you willing to sacrifice your current comfort in order to get to your future freedom? It's a big one. Current comfort level for future freedom, where you don't have to worry about comfort, where you are truly comfortable being uncomfortable. Because you've sacrificed being comfortable. I have money, I'm paying my bills, I'm good, I got my job, I got my little business going, everything's good right now, I don't have to grow too much, I'm not experiencing any challenges, so that's good, I'm comfortable, things are going well. But guess what? When you're not experiencing challenges, what's happening is you're not growing. And that's the detriment of comfort. Because if you're constantly comfortable, nothing is challenging you. There is no struggle to overcome to become even stronger and even better. So are you willing to give up that current comfort for the person you really do want to become? The person who can handle any obstacle that comes their way, the person who welcomes the challenges and the obstacles. Are you willing to give up your current vision? This is another one. This is one for a lot of introspection. Are you willing to give up what you thought was your path? Are you willing to sacrifice what you thought was your path to get onto another path that's going to serve you better in the future? Sometimes an opportunity will come and people will be like, oh, no, I think I'm good where I'm at right now. I think I'm good. Yeah, you might not be good. You're just not willing to give up what you thought you wanted. I thought I wanted to just sit in corporate America and, I'm just slowly climbing up that ladder. But again, if you're not willing to give that up for a potential future opportunity that's going to make your future even bigger and brighter, guess what? You'll never experience that bigger and brighter future because you were never willing to give up your current situation, this is what I thought I wanted for my life. Are you willing to give up self-doubt? It's a big one. Are you willing to give up your self-doubt? You thinking, oh, it's not for me. I'm not good at sales. I'm not good at finances. I'm not really good at being an entrepreneur. I'm not good at, I don't think it's for me. That's just self-doubt talking. Are you willing to let that self-doubt go and embrace the fear and the rejection and the I'm not sure I'm good at this, and this is really hard? Are you willing to give up that self-doubt? That's a tough one. Lots of times we don't even realize we have a bunch of self-doubt happening in our brains. We have to first realize, oh, am I saying no because I don't think I can do it? Or I don't think I like sales? Or I don't think I'm good at it? What are you saying no about? Is your self-doubt talking? Is the self-doubt the one who's answering? Are you willing to give that up? Are you willing to sacrifice yourself for rejection? That's another tough one. You're going to get a lot of no's when you step out of the box and pursue bigger dreams than where you currently are and pursue challenges and obstacles and things that are hard. You're going to get a lot of rejection as you're going to grow. Are you willing to sacrifice yourself in the name of a better you? Are you willing to take those no's? What's wrong with you? Why are you talking like that? You've changed. You're weird. Oh, are you in one of those things? Oh, you talking to me about business again? Oh, this guy's calling again. Are you willing to sacrifice all of that? Are you willing for people to look at you weird and maybe even talk about you weird and avoid your phone calls for a while? Are you willing to sacrifice that in order to get to the future you that no longer worries about any of that because you've gone through it and you've embraced it and it's done well for you? So are you willing to let go of that self-doubt? and embrace the struggle, embrace the rejection, embrace the no's. What are you willing to give up in the short term for the long term? That's the main question. And that can be in all areas of your life. It could be in family relationships, your spouse relationship, your business, your job, your health. Are you willing to sacrifice the foods you love most if you need to get to a better body? Are you willing to sacrifice drinking, smoking in order to get to a better body, a better mindset? Are you willing to let go of a mindset that's not serving you in order to learn a new mindset that might serve you better? Sometimes we hold on to certain mindsets and beliefs because they're from our family. They're almost traditional, they're cultural, they're religious even. But sometimes we haven't really reflected enough to say, you know what, I don't know if this is serving me anymore. Are you willing to sacrifice it? Are you willing to say, I don't think I want to carry on this cultural tradition? I deal with that a lot. I come from a culture I don't necessarily like or agree with. I came from a religion that I grew up and realized, whoa, I don't think I agree with this. And that was a hard sacrifice. I pretty much sacrificed my whole family for that. So I no longer believed in that religion and how it was serving me and how it would serve my future family and my child. Same with the culture. I had to separate myself completely from the culture and the religion. And that caused a lot of detriment in my family. I still get phone calls till this day from my mom saying, I need to go back to Islam. I can't believe this. You only did it for your family. You only did it for your husband. That's not real. It's difficult, but that was a sacrifice I made because of a belief I had nothing to do with anybody else. But guess what? It sacrificed a lot of the relationship that I had with my mom and the rest of my family. One of my brothers doesn't even talk to me anymore. Haven't talked to me in like 9 years because of that. But guess what? I was willing and still am ready to sacrifice it because it wasn't serving me. It wasn't serving my future self. It wasn't serving the vision I had for my future. So it was a short-term and ongoing sacrifice. Some of these sacrifices aren't just short-term. They're ongoing sacrifices for the future self that you're wanting, that you haven't even met yet, that maybe you don't even know what that future self is going to look like. Maybe you don't have a vision yet for that person. But it's in these small sacrifices that are ongoing that help you get closer and closer to who that person is, to becoming that person. So are you willing to sacrifice those things that aren't serving you? Are you willing to self-reflect first on the things that are going on in your life? Hey, is my time being invested properly? When people say, man, I don't have time. No, it's not a priority. Are you willing to reflect on your time and take a look at your schedule and really take a look to see where you're spending your time? And if it's not serving you, are you willing to sacrifice it in order to gain more time? Right? And it's funny how that sounds. Are you willing to sacrifice time now for more time later? But it's true. It's just about inspecting how and where and why we're spending our time to figure out if it could be used better and give us even more time. But you have to be first willing to say, yeah, let me take a look. Let me see if I really don't have time. And then realize, man, I am wasting a lot of time. Right? Sometimes we just have to be willing to sacrifice even saying no to ourselves or no to the opportunity. Sacrifice that no for a future yes. In entrepreneurship, you're constantly sacrificing. Constantly sacrificing. When I had my distribution company, I worked 90 hours a week. I was in China 3 months out of the year. I sacrificed a lot of time with my husband. We hardly saw each other for 7 years of our marriage. But guess what? I did that. So now we have all the time in the world. We see each other every single day, all day long. Because I sacrificed 7 years so that I can have that time later. Same thing. I sacrificed a lot of time being able to have a family. 7, 8 years of sacrifice. And now I have a family, I have a daughter, and I could spend all day, every day with her. I don't have to go to a job. I don't have to work 90 hours in my business anymore. I put that time in already. I still work 80 hours in my business. I don't mess around, but I'm with her. She sees me. She actually goes with me on all my events. On every single Zoom, she's over here next to me. Right now, she's with daddy. But on every Zoom I have, all my clients get to see her right next to me because I sacrifice that time up front. So that way I can, okay, now I finally am able to have kids, man, and now I get to have kids on my terms because I put that time in. Where are you willing to do that in your life? Where in your life do you have room to sacrifice to get to a better state? That's constant self-reflection. If you want to have things to reflect on, that would be one of them. I constantly ask myself, probably once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, what can I sacrifice to get to a better place? What do I need to sacrifice? What do I need to let go of in order to get to an even better place than we are right now? It's such a powerful question to be asking yourself on a very regular basis, because if we don't, then we won't think about it. Then we'll just keep going the same cycle, the same thing. I don't want to sacrifice. I don't want to. Sacrifice biblically is actually good for us. How funny is that? Helps us with temptation, helps us to say, no, I'm not going to give this to myself. I'm going to discipline. I'm going to give myself some discipline. I'm going to say no to that bad habit. I'm going to say no to self-gratification right now for future gratification. That right there builds your level of discipline tremendously. Just by being able to say no to yourself builds you tremendously. That's what like Lent is. Lent in Catholicism, Ramadan in Islam. When we give something up, fasting in many religions, it's biblically trying to teach us how to say no to our gratification, how to say no to our temptation, how to be strong in what we want right now and practice that muscle for what will be better for us later. Have you realized when you don't do that enough, it becomes harder and harder and harder to say no? You just fall into every temptation. I want a burger right now. Okay, let's go get a burger. Oh, but I'm so overweight. It becomes harder. Man, I want to smoke. Oh, but I know I shouldn't. My lungs hurt. I need to get clear-headed. It becomes harder. Man, I'd like to have a drink right now. All right, I'm going to have a drink. It becomes harder. The less you sacrifice, the less you build that muscle of sacrifice and dying to your needs and your flesh, the harder it becomes to be able to do that in any circumstance, in any situation. And you just become weaker and weaker in that sense. So the more you allow yourself to practice that muscle, the stronger and stronger it becomes. At that point, you can discipline yourself in any area that you want because you've been practicing that muscle. You've been asking yourself bi-weekly, what can I sacrifice this week to build this muscle? What can I say no to for a couple of days just to strengthen this muscle of sacrifice? If you can do that for yourself, man, you will be so much better off for it. Your future self will thank you. It might not be any of those things. It could be even good things. It doesn't always have to be a negative thing that's not serving you. It could say, you know what, this week I'm just gonna not take any time to do anything else. No family stuff, no friend stuff, no nothing like that. This week I'm just gonna go hard on business only. Boom, sacrifice right there. Giving up some free time, some leisure time for a week to 2 weeks. Builds the muscle. Builds the muscle. And that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to just build that muscle. It's a sacrificial muscle. And that just will continue to make you a stronger person all around, a stronger business person, stronger spouse, stronger parent, stronger friend, stronger body, stronger mind. Really, in the end, it helps our mind be able to say, I have control. I want to grow. I want to be uncomfortable. I'm going to pursue a challenge. I'm going to pursue a struggle. I'm going to do the hard first. So that's what I really want you guys to start asking yourself on a weekly basis, minimum, bi-weekly basis, minimum. It would be good to start on a weekly basis. What am I willing to give up? And if you can't think of a lot of things to give up, you better think some more, because there's always something to give up for your future self. There's always an area in your life where you need to give up something and sacrifice something in order to get to your future better self. It's always going to be something. Are you willing to leave that job if it's not serving you? If you're going to wake up in 10 years and be like, I'm doing the same damn thing, I haven't grown. Are you willing to give it up? Are you willing to take that risk? Are you willing to add in an opportunity and spend more time now? Now I don't just have the job. Now I have another business I got to focus on. I just added myself another 30 hours. Absolutely. Are you willing to do that? So in 10 years, you're not waking up in the same place. If you're not willing to do that, then just accept that in 10 years, you're going to be in the same place. Whatever area you're not willing to give up something in, just accept that in that area, you will be the same person. You will have the same experience a year from now. And if that's okay for you, that's okay. No one's judging. But if that's not okay for you, then on a weekly to bi-weekly basis, you need to ask yourself, what am I willing to give up to get to the next level? All right. So that's what I want to leave you guys with today. I hate to bring religion into this, but Jesus gave up a lot. I think in every religion, some of the most powerful people in the world, not just religion, altogether, and some of the most successful, powerful, humble people in the world have given up so much sacrifice. Nothing came easy. Nothing came with extreme hard work and dying to oneself in so many different areas. And that is something that you must also do for your future self. In the name of your future self, I'm going to give up a whole lot of shit in the name of my future self. And again, it starts with one question on a very regular basis. I have like a list of things I reflect on a weekly to bi-weekly basis. And these are certain things I just ask myself. And then I write each answer down. And that helps me to constantly be inviting challenges, inviting growth, inviting uncomfortability into my life. And that's one of them. What am I willing to sacrifice so I can get better, so my family can get better, so my future self can be so well and free that I don't have to worry about anything? What am I willing to sacrifice in the now for the later? All right. That's what I'll leave you guys with. Hope I don't get any more of these jets flying overhead. I'm about to go underground. Let me know if you guys need anything. Let us know if you need anything. Chris and I are here for you all the time. Please write that question down and keep asking yourself these questions. They are good for you. They will help you. And that self-reflection, man, there's nothing better. So, and embrace the sacrifices. Embrace them. They are good for you. All right. Thank you, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful week. Hope you have a good Memorial weekend. Stay safe. Bye-bye.